Welcome. Good morning. Today we're going to start working on our project Beetle 1969. A couple things we have in store today. The main thing is to get this thing running and running well. First thing we're going to do this morning is change out the exhaust. It had a couple exhaust leaks that we noticed. Hopefully it's not coming from the heads and it's just coming from the exhaust. So we're going to swap that out, and then we're going to get to some other things later on in the video, or in a separate video perhaps as well. Alright, first thing we're going to do is disconnect the negative side of the battery. Anytime you're working on a major project on a car, disconnect the negative side of the battery. That way you're not going to short anything out inadvertently, touching a positive wire to a ground and creating a bad electrical fire. Alright, first thing we're going to do in removing the exhaust is pull off the couple typically 13mm nuts on the exhaust ports. There's going to be 2 per exhaust port. 2 left, 2 right, back, front, so a total of 8 nuts there. Plus we're going to go ahead and pull off the exhaust clamps on the bottom side. Those are typically 10mm nuts on the top and bottom of the clamps. So we'll pull all those off, and that'll allow us to get off the exhaust and the J-tubes on this model, as it does not have heater boxes. Alright, now that we got the 4 exhaust nuts off the exhaust ports and the J-tube clamps are loose, we're going to go ahead and pull off the muffler. Relatively simple. Yank and pull. And there is our old, looks like a tri-mill 2-tip GT. One of my favorites just because it gives a good ground clearance, but we're going to switch out to a different style 2-tip GT exhaust today. By no means do you have to pull off the tire to remove the J-tubes. We've just done it so it's easier to see in the video and or photos. We're going to pull off the 2 nuts here, one at top and one at bottom. We'll do this on both sides. That also allows us to pull off the J-tubes and replace these while we're here as well. Alright, with our new exhaust gasket, couple spring washers and new copper lock nuts for the exhaust. We'll go ahead and put the J-tubes on now. There is a left and right on the J-tube, so don't confuse them. And anytime you're fitting an exhaust, until you get everything attached, the heater boxes or J-tubes, the new exhaust pipe, muffler or header or have you want to put everything on loosely, get everything test fit, make certain all the pipes are snug together, J-tubes into the header, etc. Before going through and tightening all your exhaust nuts. Alright, and on most all aftermarket exhausts, the heat risers, which are made to keep the intake manifold on a single carburetor from icing up, the actual tubes are not drilled out. So what we're going to do now is drill them out so the exhaust gases can actually get up to the intake manifold and keep it warm. On the exhausts, the heat risers, you would want to have one side larger than the other so that you actually have some cross flow. If you had the holes the same size, the exhaust gases would just kind of battle each other. If one side is larger than the other, it's going to overpower, so the exhaust will actually flow from one port to the other through the intake manifold, keeping it warm. Alright, installing the muffler, it's just a matter of going ahead and first lining up the J-tubes down below. With the gaskets and lock ring already installed. Make sure you got fresh exhaust gaskets, and then we're going to use the same 8mm spring washers and copper exhaust nuts that we had before. We've got everything lined up and on all the exhaust ports, so now we're just going to go through and tighten down all the nuts at the heads, and then we'll put on the exhaust clamps on the bottom tubes. All in all, we're all done here. We've got a new exhaust on, new J-tubes, new clamps, new gaskets, new copper exhaust nuts. This thing should be leak free and should get this down the road quietly now for quite some time. This system is a black system, so this paint will burn off fairly quickly. Keep that in mind if you are ever getting a system that's not ceramic coated, chrome plated, or stainless steel. The black paint is going to burn off. Installation was very simple, and taking the other one off was very simple as well. None of the exhaust studs on the heads broke, which definitely makes life easy. If those do break, we do have replacements available. The hard part, of course, is getting the old ones out. Oftentimes you're going to have to drill out the head, put a helix coil in, or otherwise.